This is Truth is Scarier Than Fiction, and I'd like to welcome you to a world of horror. 5 true scary stories from America. This series is going to be me taking 5 true scary stories from a country and then putting it into a video. I'll figure out which country I do next, based on which country watches my content the most. So up next would be the United Kingdom. And right before I begin, I'd like to say that for some reason I've been unable to comment on my own videos. That's why I haven't been responding to you guys. I'll see if it works. And if not, I'll keep on trying or contact Google. Number 1. I lived in a rural Southern Carolina home in the rolling hills, and I often explored the massive expanse of forestry I had around my home. There were miles and miles of greenery. Around the time I was 11, I started taking a gun with me into the woods because of a semi-close encounter I had with a coyote a few months back. My mom said that I could, since she knew I was taught how to shoot, and basic gun safety. Anyways, around the time I was 13 or so years old, I had several strange experiences in the forest, including seeing large groups of flashlights and hearing men speaking somewhat far off, which was strange since it was my property. By far though, the scariest thing that happened to me happened when I was around the age of 14. I was walking through the woods at about 2 a.m. on a weekend. By myself as usual. I was carrying my mother's Ruger Vaquero and my cowboy holster. I had a thing for Western movies. After another hour of walking, I was very far from my home. Then, I was approached by a grown man who was probably in his mid to late 40s. He was very fat, and he only stared at me. I told him to go away, as it was my property, and he smiled in my direction, as if he were looking over me instead of at me. I was really getting creeped out, so I began backpedaling, and then he took a step towards me, at which point I pulled my vest up and aimed the revolver directly at his chest and exclaimed, "This is my property. I can legally shoot you right now." At which point he turned tail and ran away. I hoofed it back home and was really shaken up for some reason, probably more so than I should have been. Granted, this guy was on my property, and incredibly scary looking. Number 2. Not so much spooky as horribly unexplained. Here it goes. I was 18 and going to a horse camp in Cascade, Idaho. The camp entailed weeks of trail rides into backcountry, only accessible by horse or hardcore hiking. One day, we're returning from an 8-hour trail deep into the woods. It's pitch black. We're most of the way there when suddenly there's a flash of light. No, I shouldn't say a flash of light, but an entire enlightening of the surrounding area. I can see clear across the entire valley, as if it were the middle of the day. The sky is blue, there's no stars, and everything is perfectly vivid. It goes back to pitch black half a second later. I have no idea what could have done this. My cousin was with me, and she remembers the phenomena exactly the same way. It was surreal. Number 3. I was 19 just this last winter, and living in the country in the state of Wisconsin. I sleep in my basement at my parents' house. I was on winter break from college when I hear a slap on my window right next to my bed. I'm wide awake. I'm listening for anything, but there's nothing else. 5 or so minutes pass, and then the sliding glass window has the same crack, like it just got smacked. Nope. For the next 30 minutes, all the windows in the back side of the house get smacked. The guest room, the sliding door next to my parents' room upstairs, we have a deck, as well as all the living room windows. The window by me gets slapped again. I'm huddled in the adjacent corner, as far out of sight as I can. Then it alternates from tapping to scratching on my window. Next day, I tell my parents, but they say it was just the windows making the noise, due to cracking from the cold. I've heard similar noises during the day, so I laugh it off. 2 hours later, my dad tells me to come out and help him shovel snow. It's fresh snow, so it won't be too hard to shovel, so I get dressed up and head out. My dad must have gone down already. There's only one set of prints heading up from behind the house to the road. Come to think of it, there were footprints up by the garage and the sidewalk to the front door. I go down there and see a ton of boot prints in the snow, on the patio, on the deck, on the stairs leading up to it, and all around the house. There's finger smudges all over the windows. I tell my dad, and he says not to tell anyone. We follow the prints back up our road. The guy walked down one side of the road to our place, and back up on the other side. We get to the top of our lane, and the tracks disappear. Whoever it was got picked up, or the prints are gone, due to the plows. I sleep with a Bowie knife under my pillow ever since. Whoever it was never stopped any of the houses up to ours. Just went right for ours. Number 4. I was 6, living in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and I was playing in my friend's front yard. An old red truck with a cab pulled up to me and rolled down the window. He yelled to me, "Hey, kid, wanna come over to my place? So much fun there, lots of things to play with. Some other kids are there too." He proceeds to show me pictures of him with a girl, about 4 to 5 years of age, playing dress up together. The pictures show them in different costumes. My friend's dad comes around the corner. Immediately, he knows what's up and starts sprinting toward the car, cursing up a storm. The guy speeds away, and we don't get the license plate number. To this day, I'm not sure if that guy ever got caught or what happened to him. At the time, being 6, I thought I was just being nice. Now I look back, and it gives me the chills. Number 5. I'm walking in the woods. I see tire tracks, and I'm amazed anybody could get a vehicle through this brush and mud. Nevertheless, though, I'm scared, as there's tire tracks in my own woods. So I go back to my house. Then I hear a helicopter overhead, and it's going back and forth like they're looking for something. I turn on the local TV, but there's nothing unusual on the news. Anyway, I turn off the TV, and then hear something upstairs in my house. I run and get my .22 semi-automatic from my closet, and make a big show of inserting the clip, working the action, etc. I run upstairs. There's no one there. I'm scared now. I run back down, and the back door is open. I'm afraid to call the sheriff, because, plants. This is southern US, not Oregon. I walk around the house and I see no one there, but I do know that the car is still back there. I call the police about a car in my woods and then meet them halfway out on a dirt road and direct them directly into my woods via my neighbor's land. They're looking for a car missing from an old guy with dementia's yard. The guy was found yesterday wandering the town south of where I lived. It was the car in the woods. There's no sign of any people either. I couldn't see any tracks, although it was getting dark, so I could have missed something. The bugs are starting to get bad. The deputies made the report, drove around my house, and left. They towed the car out through our side this morning. They said they didn't know anything about the helicopter or the guys in the car. This is Truth is Scarier Than Fiction, and I would like to thank you for watching this video. If you liked, please subscribe to my channel or follow me on Twitter if you want to get regular notifications. And remember, fear keeps us going.